The MSA Off-Road Car Racing Commission introduced a new seeding system at the Oven Fresh Biscuits 500. The seeding list is intended for use to determine the starting order on the prologue only, and is based on a formula which takes into account the qualifying times of all competitors since 2001.
The seeding system, when we have a problem like we had at Sugarbelt where the prologue had to be cancelled, we all of a sudden realized this is the next step, and in that way we know who's fastest, we worked out the times, and it's also much more fair to the competitors where people that are equally fast are together with each other, and from that point also much safer. Fast guys don't land up behind slow cars, and it makes it a lot more competitive and a lot safer for the individual competitors concerned. And from an admin point of view, it's also much easier. There's a fixed start time, there's a fixed, well, not a fixed ending time, but there's an ending time, and the fast people are there, you know, in that bunch who is fastest.
But what did the competitors think of the new system?
I'm absolutely delighted with it. It's the most fair way of starting. It's like rallies. We've always had the problem that we get held up. We run for the queue, and a slower car ducks in front of you, and this is an absolute fair way of doing it. I know there's a bit of muttering amongst the competitors that they're not seated on the right place yet. It will sort itself out, but I think it's the best idea that's come to off-road in the last 2 years or so.
There was a mixed reaction from Team Ford Racing's Neil Woolridge.
I'm all for experimenting and change, you know. If this technology is better, then we've got to go ahead, and if it's a good system, then let's go with it. But my personal feeling is that if we're trying something, maybe we should be trying on a regional event rather than a national event, where it's very, very important, and for argument's sake, you might have a slower person in front of you, and then it's actually going to hold you up a bit. But yeah, I'm all for change, you know. If it's going to work well, then fine. Let's see. Today we'll tell.
Castrol Toyota co-driver Robin Harton was upbeat about the new system.
I think it's a very good idea. It's about time we did something like this. As I participate in rallies as well, I'm fairly familiar with the process, and it's worked very well there. Basically, in the past, because there's quite a big discrepancy amongst the vehicles in a particular class, whether it be A or all the way down to a Class F car, you get the quicker cars and the slower. So just having individual classes ahead of each other is sometimes a problem, in that you may be in a Class E car, which is considerably quicker than the back marker of a Class B field. So in the past we have had problems, and often in many instances we either catch the cars in the section, in the time trial, or they have to give us extra gaps, which then extends the whole field. So I think it's a good idea. Obviously in the first event now we're going to have some teething problems, I'm sure, but as it goes along I'm sure it's going to improve, and they'll just be able to polish it a little bit, and yeah, that's definitely the way to go for it.
Hannes Grobler and Richard Leek topped the seeding list and are followed by proudly South African Nissan teammates Janelle de Villiers and Francois Jordan. Winner of 4 events last year, Gerard Duplessis is the top-seeded special vehicle driver and is third in the overall rankings. Grobler and Leek were away first on the prologue and completed the 42-kilometre route on the outskirts of Mafikeng in just under 23 minutes.
500 straight again. Crossroads straight.
De Villiers and Jordan couldn't match their teammates' pace and qualified 42 seconds behind the leaders. The De Villiers proudly South African Nissan hardbody is similar to the Dakar vehicles and features a space frame chassis and independent suspension on all 4 wheels. Third-seeded Woolridge and Scholthammer qualified third in the Team Ford Racing Ranger, 52 seconds slower than the leaders. The team was in a confident mood after solving the overheating problems that forced them into retirement on the Toyota 1000. Reigning production vehicle champions Duncan Foss and Mike Griffith were only 3 seconds slower than the Ford, which meant that they would have to contend with choking dust and poor visibility when the main race got underway at 8 o'clock the next day. Gerald Mandel previously raced in Class B, where he did not enjoy much success. The move to Class A and a competitive vehicle was just what the doctor ordered. He and Billy Bond qualified fastest on the Nissan Dealer 400 and then went on to win the Nissan Sugarbelt 400 in the Prolong Bat and lead the special vehicle pack home in the Oven Fresh Biscuits 500 Prolong. That designer and constructor Brandon Harkus and Gary Berthold qualified 6th fastest in the Nissan V6 powered Bat, but were 14 seconds slower than Mundell and Bond. They led the Toyota 1000 for much of day one, until retiring with a broken front suspension, and were confident of another overall win from one of the Bat stable of cars. Diamond prospector Gerard Duplessis and wife Kirby were 7th in the Liebherr Gymco and shared the same time with Harkus and Berthold. Gerard and brother Lawrence are formidable competitors, but Lawrence is no longer able to compete due to motion sickness brought on by a bout of jaundice some time ago. Nissan dealer 400 winner Atang Makaganeni's ambition of being the first Botswana to win the Toyota 1000 were dashed when he and Mike Stangl were forced into retirement while leading on day one. The pair qualified 8th and were intent on getting their championship campaign back on track by winning the Oven Fresh Biscuits 500. Arpi Reineke and Robin Harton have not had the best of season in the Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser and have only managed to complete one of the 3 races so far. They managed to qualify 10th, but gained a place after 9th place qualifiers John Weir Smith and Jeff Minnett withdrew with a blown engine on the O'Hagan's Kopanong Hotel Gymco. The aging but ever spectacular Jojo Tanks VW Beetle of Jackie Joubert qualified just over 2.5 minutes slower than Grobler and Leek and would have a lot of catching up to do. Scott Abraham and Richard Carolyn share driving duties in the Atlas Copco Chicago pneumatic Jeep and set up the 12th fastest time with rookie driver Abraham behind the wheel during the prologue. Veteran Cliff Barker and Vic Camper were back in action in the MGM Motors Land Rover, which sports a BMW M3 engine. Mountain biking occupies much of Barker's free time these days, and appearances at off-road races are rare. They qualified 13th. Leading Class D qualifiers were Alfie Cox and Henny Tersteger in the Arnold Schatz Cars Nissan Hardbody. The pair won the class on the Nissan Sugarbelt 400 and was hoping for a repeat win in the Oven Fresh Biscuits 500. A bit of a rough ride for Class D contenders Piet Haasbroek and Freddie Skeppers, who qualified 15th in the Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser. Class D Championship leaders Hein Grobler and Gerhard Prinsloo qualified 16th in the GBS Racing Nissan and would start the main event 29 seconds behind Cox and Tersteger. Marcus Taylor and Mark de Chalane were 17th fastest in the Class B leading Rollerbuck Racing JRE and way ahead of the rest of the Class B contingent, many of whom had got lost. They were followed by Kutsia Labaskachny and Johan Gerber in another of the GBS Racing Nissan hardbody pickups. Newcomer to off-road racing Zane Pierce is better known for his saloon car racing exploits, and he and co-driver Henny Vosloo showed the rest of the Class E field the way home in their high-Q Ford Ranger. Marius van Vieren and Chris Marie were only 3 seconds slower in the Albaranti Auto Spray Land Rover and would start 19th. Hein Mulman and Cecil Fincham rounded out the top 20 starters and were second fastest in Class E, while Frikkie Boerter and Melville Priest, who had got lost, were the leading Class S qualifiers and would start 58th in the Santon Off-Road Accessories Raceco. Andre Boerter and Beans Heidenreich were the lone Class F qualifiers in the O'Hagan's Kopanong Hotel Chev and would start 41st. Only 5 minutes separated the top 20 qualifiers, with 13 of the top 20 places occupied by production vehicles. Nissans again dominated the top placings. There was no rest for the service crews as they set about preparing the vehicles for the next day's main event, which would comprise 2 laps of a 224-kilometer route.